In this video, I'm going to help you rewrite your reality in 90 days, essentially upgrade yourself. And you clicked on this because you want more control, maybe over health, relationships, money, or just more peace internally or in your life. Maybe you've tried changing your habits or some kind of strategy, but essentially it hasn't worked. And so I'm going to give you some more details. Now, of course, you're not alone. Everyone struggles through this, but they don't realize that lasting change happens only when you change the system that's creating the results in the first place, which is what I'm sharing. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you a 90-day framework. It rewires the beliefs that drive your reality. And of course, it works in business, relationships, health, personal, and also spiritual development. So what we're going to do is explore how to become more conscious and rewrite your reality. Now, my own experience, when I was 3, I had my first out-of-body experience, which was amazing, but life-changing. I saw my body from above and I realized that reality wasn't fixed. My whole experience, my whole life has been filled with these types of experiences that give me a certain understanding about myself and the process of change and also spiritual and personal development. So decades later, I was running my healing center. I was working 16-hour days. I changed everything in my life except one thing that really mattered, which were the beliefs running my life and my work. Now, with some introspection, I discovered that I had a hidden line of code, if you like, in my belief system. A belief that said, helping people doesn't make me any money. I could see other people doing it, but not me. And another that said that money's hard to come by. And so you can imagine the effect that these two beliefs, these lines of code alone, had on my finances and my life. It shaped my income, my health, and obviously my stress. And today I help others find and rewrite their code, which is exactly how you transform your life. And here are a couple of references that I want to give you to make this practical from Seth, who's a non-physical intelligence channeled by Jane Roberts, and described how consciousness itself forms events. The inner dimension where thought becomes matter he calls framework 2, and Dr. Maxwell Maltz, the author of Psycho-Cybernetics, discovered a self-image mechanism. And I love that book. It's the autopilot that steers all our behaviors, and we need to match our inner and our outer. So Seth explained the metaphysical side and Maltz mapped the psychology, and together they described the kind of feedback loop translating belief into form. The great thing is that you can rewrite it once you know about this, and over the next few minutes I'm going to give you a 3-phase 90-day process that I use with my clients. They use this to transform finances, relationships, well-being, identity, by shifting the code that runs their whole system and forms their reality. And so it comes in 3 steps. The first step is always awareness, and it's often the most difficult because it takes some patience. So for the first 4 weeks, don't try and fix anything or change anything. Just observe where you're at in the moment. Carry a small notebook called feedback. Each time an emotion spikes, write what happened, what did I decide, what did it mean to me? And by week 2, you'll see that patterns begin to appear internally and also externally in your life. Now go one layer deeper and log intuitions, dreams, spontaneous feelings, coincidences that stand out. Because these two are not random, of course. They're outer signals showing your inner recoding has begun. Now reality starts echoing, as we all know, the changes that we make within. It's how law of attraction works. And it can be hard to have the patience, but you need to understand this is where the reset begins. The first 4 weeks gives you that baseline. And you'll also find where you can take a step back, you can relax, begin to know your mind and experience, and it'll all change actually quite naturally. And here's a trick that's going to speed things up for you, going to speed the change when you realize 2 things. First of all, that you're not actually within your internal state or the environment working with anything solid. It's a fluid field of consciousness that translates itself into thoughts and form. And secondly, your core beliefs are the main commands that shape the field internally and externally. So what we're doing is changing belief, changing your mind, and therefore changing the reality. And that's the process over the 90 days. This simple awareness begins to dissolve emotional beliefs to some or other degree. The moment you see the loop, how life mirrors it to you, it begins to lose power. And that's the first act of becoming conscious. So the first is awareness. So the second step is recoding. We're going to translate one repeating story at a time. You might say, if it's money, that I keep experiencing poverty because I believe I'm not worthy. You could rewrite that in terms of money as I keep experiencing wealth easily because I believe that money is unlimited. It comes to me in fun and interesting ways easily. So that's a translation, a recoding in terms of health. You might now say, I keep experiencing amazing health, vitality, because my body is healthy, or my organs and my mind are vital and do not deteriorate over time. So here's a Maltz exercise, which is a kind of self-image theatre one. So each morning, close your eyes, picture yourself on an inner stage, nice and quietly. See the version of you who already lives within that new belief. You've got a great posture, you're calm, you're excited, and now internally step into the role and feel it's real. And Maltz showed that your nervous system simply can't tell the difference between imagined and lived experience. Every vivid rehearsal updates your self-image. And a Seth exercise, which is an inner senses scan, which is just to spend 1 minute sensing some kind of inner light or vibration. You might whisper, I am consciousness, transferring into experience. And then you're going to connect with that inner framework quite naturally. Framework 2, he calls it, the layer where thoughts becomes events. Also, you can, before sleep, run a creative projection. Imagine tomorrow is already lived successfully. Feel its gratitude as if it's already done. And what you're doing in all these things, you're programming your servo mechanism while Framework 2 sets new probabilities, new events into your day. And then during the day, act as if in small ways. Now, when the old code shows up, smile and just say, okay, old software deleted. Choose not to focus on it. Choose to focus on what you want. Every correction tells reality, update accepted. This is our new reality. And this is how we practice becoming conscious in real time. It takes focus and discipline. The next one is Stabilise. So weeks 9 to 12 are all about consistency. Challenge means calibration, not failure. So keep choosing the new code. Week 10, you begin to expand, apply your new identity across all your life areas. And I'd encourage you to play with new ideas as your confidence grows. Week 11 is a great exercise, a future letter. Write to yourself a year ahead. Who are you? What do you want to be? But also leave some space for unknown magic. And as you come to the end, you begin to reflect. You compare week 1 to where you are now. Notice what's become natural and easy for you. So this sounds simple, but it's an incredible human upgrade. The key is that you've got to do it. You've got to focus. That's the challenge. And for myself, from that first out-body experience, I knew that evolution itself is not physical. It's about consciousness. And to become conscious is to move to reacting and authoring your life. And I believe humanity's next stage is living as conscious creators within this field of consciousness. The more conscious we become, the more leveraged our actions are. And then one inner change multiplies outer results massively. So that's your 90-day mission. Observe, recode, stabilise. Practice the self-image, the theatre each morning. Tune into your inner senses. Scan, log intuitions, feelings, dreams, coincidences. They're messages from the deeper layer of your consciousness, of you updating and confirming the update. And you have to confirm it. And remember the trick, you're not changing the outer world, you're changing beliefs that then create the outer world. And then you can sit back, relax and watch your outer world rewrite itself from the inside out. And if you do want to go deeper, there's a free newsletter called Becoming Conscious, where we bridge consciousness creation, philosophy and practice. And if you enjoyed this, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video and comment. I read every one and I'd be happy to take any questions.